Hello ART129 class, welcome to the April 15th version of the remote instruction. I'm getting this one done a couple days early, so you might be watching it ahead of time, but it is the one that will be posted in the week for, or the announcement for April 15th. I hope everyone had a good spring break. I know it wasn't the most ideal spring break, but hopefully you made the best of it. Recall that especially in the future, I will not be backtracking at all on these videos. So if you want to know what you had to turn in for today, you'd have to go back to the video that was posted, 1 week ago. But since last week was spring break, and especially because I don't think I've received a single email per the instructions, I better make sure that everybody knows what I'm expecting for today, April 15th Zoom meeting. So I'm just going to give a brief overview on this because it's contained in the weekly videos. But if you recall, all the way back to April 1st, the idea was that everyone in class would have had their WordPress blog set up with 2 variations of what they are going to be doing for their final project in Dreamweaver. So in other words, we did that in Photoshop, and now you were to have put in 2 things and emailed everyone in class, including me. I don't recall receiving a single email from this, so if you didn't email it to me, chances are you didn't email it to other students, and no one's had a chance to make the comments in your site. Hopefully, maybe I was the only one who was missed, which would still be good. We could get the Zoom meeting done, but make sure either way that you send a link to me before Wednesday's class. And if you haven't got this out to everyone, do so ASAP and then go into their blog, make a reply. Remember, when you get the replies to your blog, you need to make them public per the instructional videos. The idea is that today, April 15th, we will then do the process check of looking at your progress that you've made in Photoshop on designing this website that you will soon actually design inside of Dreamweaver. So that's the idea there, and then you also had the image knowledge quiz. Remember, the meetings for Zoom will always be in the day that it is. So today is April 15th. The Zoom meeting is right here for today, and then there'll be one posted in next week's for next week. The only other thing I want to make sure I mention on this is after all this is completed, you've posted, people have made replies. If you have the time, and this would be a great idea, to make a new and improved version, please make sure you share that fact with me when we do the Zoom meeting and do the critique on here. First we'll look at what people had to say, and then we'll see how you progress from there if you were able to get to that point. Now let's look at what is due the following week, which will be April 22nd. Okay, so you will have at this point finalized your ideal website that you are going to create in Dreamweaver. Now, if we were in class, I would have had you print this, and the idea would be that even though you're going to make a website, if you ever went to a job interview that was just strictly, hey, bring in your printed work and we'll consider you for the job, that you would have a website in your printed work. So you would take, based on all the video instruction for this project, you would make the freeze frames of this and then print it out on a 13 by 19. Now, since we can't do that, we're going to move on to the second phase of that, which is a file turn-in. And what I'll do is I'll give you a grade on this still. You'll still get a project grade for completing this printout. You're just going to make it a digital printout. So get all of this done per the video instruction. Keep on going with the, in fact, let me just go to it. Okay, so under instructional videos, we're going to be on the Photoshop layout. So this goes through everything you need, and then eventually we get to the part where you're putting everything together for printing purposes. Okay, so these videos take you through getting everything ready to put in a blog, and then these are the ones for printing. So you're still going to follow all these steps. Open up Illustrator, make the layout for your site, and then when you get to the end of here, pause, save that Illustrator file, and know that once you get access to a printer again, you can print that out for your print portfolio. Now, let me just show you some examples of what you're going for here. If you go up to student work and web design, the idea is that you're making a layout of your web design, and the exact way that you want to show it is very much up to you. The idea is that you're starting with a 13 by 19 inch piece of paper here, and you're coming up with a way that makes sense to show us your website the best. And it could even be two 13 by 19 pieces of paper like this person did. He didn't think this was enough to explain the idea for his site, so it took 2 pages, which is perfectly fine, but you get the idea. There's all kinds of different ways to do that. Now, it's important to keep in mind that there's actually 2 different grades here. So this is going to be for an actual project grade because of all the amount of work that goes into laying this out, making it look good on a 13 by 19 inch page. Then this is a preparation grade, but it is a very methodical approach. So it's going to be important that you really pay attention to the video here. This one only requires 1 video, but you have to do everything that's on the video, including putting the little word test in there and outlining the text of that word, and you'll see what that means. But this is one of the biggest problems that people have when they share files back and forth on a team of stuff that's done in Illustrator. These things that I mentioned in the video are the ones that cause huge problems. So if you know how to do this, you'll be miles ahead of the game. And what I do on this particular project, since I believe it's so important, this one and then what's due for the next week, but we'll just, they're both turning in files, but we'll just take one at a time. First one is AI, is if you get it wrong, I give you a 0, but I give you a chance to redo it for -5 points, assuming that you get it done before the next class meets. Now, if you don't get it done before the next class meets, then you potentially will get -5 and then -4 for having it be a week late. So do watch the videos. You get 40 out of 40 points if you get it right the first time. It's an easy grade upticker. All right, and then the other thing that's due, which shouldn't be a whole lot of work, is the WordPress blog. So you just go through, look at the grade sheet, as I already mentioned in a previous video. Make sure you're not missing anything on there, and then you just simply email me with the following in the body of the email. My blog is ready to grade, your full roster name, and the WordPress URL. And then the focus of the class shifts to you working in Dreamweaver, making that site that you designed in Photoshop as close as possible to that design. And maybe improvements. Maybe there's certain things that you just can't do with what we're able to learn in an intro class. But that and the WordPress site. You turned in the WordPress blog on the 22nd, and then after that we'll go on and watch some more videos, and you'll turn that into more of a site. So by the time class is over with, you'll have a WordPress site and a Dreamweaver site. But the good news is, if you're strapped for time, I do allow you to use the same materials for both. In other words, you could end up with a portfolio site on WordPress and a portfolio site that you made by hand in Dreamweaver. But if you got a lot of time and you're really into this and you want to build up a portfolio, then do 2 totally different things. Pick whichever one makes the most sense as your blog, probably this one, since you would have already designed it, and then make this one something else, maybe something that you can really have a lot of more fun and passion towards, but you've got 2 totally different sites to show someone that what you know about web design. Okay, so I will see you at the Zoom meeting on noon on April 15th, and we'll go from there.